Hello everyone, welcome to my first review of the 2015 Honda N-Box / Diner Style Turbo model of Honda's new cars that are the K-Series that are here in Japan. I live in Chiba, Japan, and as far as I know, I am the first and currently maybe the only foreigner that owns a Diner Style N-Box / with a turbo on it. I actually don't believe there's anyone else out there. But this is a very fun car, so I wouldn't blame anyone for buying this. And this will be a review going over my very first impressions, some of the interior stuff, and then we'll drive it around. So very first impressions is that it is a red on top, white body, and since it's a turbo style and it's a diner, it's got power and it's got some really funny styling on the inside, and I'll go in and kind of show you, and I'll kind of talk about why we chose this car. Mainly because it's a K car and it fits in where we live, and the design makes it so I stand out even more, which is a selfish thing, but that's how I am. This is a turbo style, so you'll see that the wheels on the turbo come with these ones. It's not a special order, it's just the standard on it. The windows or the side mirrors are red. That was also a standard. One thing I did add was the wind visors, and then on the front, these haven't arrived yet, but it should be in the very near future, some LED fog lamps that will be coming in as well. There is an optional white grille you can get that has little circles cut out in the grille itself, but the white of the grille and the white of the car doesn't match, and so we had originally ordered it, but I ended up canceling it once I saw that the whites were completely different. As far as in the back, the one thing we did add was just the mud flaps. It just adds just a little bit of something to it. Just makes it a little bit more mine. And let's show you the inside. Maybe before we get inside the car, I show you a realistic reference of how big or how small a K car is in reference to myself. I myself am 6'4", and this will be what it looks like. As you can clearly tell, I am larger than this car. When we originally bought the car, a lot of people started teasing me saying, how are you going to fit inside a tiny little K car? And I'll show you. Honda has done a great job of making a very spacious car. I can climb in this car without any problems. This would be no different than sitting inside of maybe a Honda, maybe an Accord, is what I'd say on spacious wise. I owned a Honda Civic some years back, and this is just a slightly bit bigger, and I'll show you why. Mainly it is because of the back of the car. The back has adjustable sliding seats, and this allows you to be able to create a trunk or take away that trunk, and that is what caused a lot of space, and I'll kind of show you here. This is me sitting in the back, and this is how much space is between me and the seats in front of me. So you can clearly see there's a lot of space. However, the trunk is what suffers in this case. But if I want to, and I think, oh, the tags are in the back, and what I'll do is I'll climb into the back. Little shopping or whatnot. But by pulling these tabs, pushing the trunk, you now have space in the trunk. But then maybe someone that's smaller could fit back there. I can kind of show you now. Heck, this would be like sitting in a C-Class Mercedes-Benz in the back seat. That's kind of what it's like. Actually, it'd be like sitting back in a Honda Civic. So, you can see that it's not bad on there. Okay, we'll adjust this. Now, one thing that my car did have that we requested is the navigation. We asked for the big 8-inch navigation. This one is made by Panasonic. It's the VRM155 VFEI. The stamp on it is Gathers, but the inside of it, the actual software of it, is a Panasonic. We also asked for the sound system, and I believe that might have been standard with this X series or whatever it was in specific. But it comes with premium speakers, has a subwoofer there. I'll turn it on. The only problem is because of YouTube's copyright licenses and music issues and whatnot. If I was to play music, it'll probably block the video, and I don't want to deal with that. But I'll start the car and show you. what it's like. Oh, I guess the first thing you'd want to see is the actual interior. So this is what the car looks like. I've got an ETC card. So when you go on the toll roads here, you need this card. It looks just like a credit card that attaches to a little unit that's up here. And this makes it so I can drive through the toll roads without any problems. So this is the navigation. You can see it shows our current location. And then what we also have is it connects to the Bluetooth on my phone. It also has, you can see this is what was playing on my phone. And then as well, I can go to and play television, and it won't block that one, so I'll show you. This one is the, I think it's 8 seg. It has their advanced, or their kind of their basic cable version of television here. So I can go through, watch it. It doesn't block it while I drive, so that's kind of nice, but I don't really watch TV. I just barely turned it on last night just to make sure it worked, and I found out that while I drive it never turns off. But we'll turn that one off. Actually, we'll go straight to the audio. Okay. Speakers themselves are actually very great quality. I wouldn't say that this is, competition grade speakers, but as far as listening to music with my family, it's actually very, very nice. The ride itself, the seats are very, very soft. They're pleather, and they look like fancy leather with the racing stripes. However, they are not. It's pleather. It's cold when you first get into them. However, they're very, very soft. It's a very soft ride. Ours does not have the sports suspension, and I believe maybe with the sports suspension it would ride maybe a little bit more stiffer. But with the basic suspension it has, and also with that sound system, it has the soundproofing on the inside of the car, and so it makes it so it's a very, very quiet ride. When you're driving, we've only driven it, actually let me show you. It has driven a total of 93 kilometers is the entire life of my car in only a week. So, as you can see, the interior is going with that 1950s diner style, and the illumination on the inside, it's blue on the doors, blue in the cup holders down there, and then blue at your feet. In the front cup holders here and in here, they shined red, and that was part of what comes with the standard features of the car, I assume. We also asked for the 2 USB jacks there. Here's the cable. And then this is a key charger. This is for, I believe, a lot of Android phones, Samsung phones and whatnot, have some sort of wireless charging capability. With an iPhone, you'd have to buy an adapter. It would be just not worth it to find an adapter for a piece. So we just plug it in with the USB cables. This pure sound booth is the soundproofing that the car comes with when you get the sound package, I believe. And then this also has an electric parking brake, so put your foot on the brake, push it, parking brake is off. As well as when you turn off the car, it automatically will turn on. This one has a radar in the front. It makes sure that if I'm just driving like a maniac and I'm late braking on someone, it'll automatically begin to brake for me. I've never experienced that one yet, but I hope to actually never put that into use. I drive very slow. Now, let's take it on a drive. So the first thing I'll tell you is that this is not a review of what it's like to drive in Japan. I have a license. I live here, so I can drive here legally. But I just want to show you what it's like driving this car. One thing you'll notice that I won't be able to do is drive very fast because it's a very small neighborhood that I live in that has narrow roads and there's a lot of pedestrians. So I'll be pretty careful on driving around. So let's kind of show. With the turbo, it's speedy. We've driven the one without the turbo. We've driven various other newer models of Honda's K-cars that have the 660cc motor without the turbo. I've driven an N-Wagon with the turbo, and it's, I'd say, exactly the same. I wouldn't say that there's any speed loss between them. This car is just slightly bigger, so it's a little bit heavier. But I actually haven't noticed that there's any speed things. It feels just like you're driving inside of like a little like an RC car or something, but I'll kind of show you here. Obviously, the speed doesn't really show up on the camera, but it takes off with quite a bit of power. If you're on the freeway or a highway or a speedier road, you will definitely notice a difference between the two, between turboed and non-turbo. There is absolutely no difference between it. Without the turbo, it is incredibly gutless. This one has a little bit of guts, and it's got speed where it needs to be. Taking off is just like driving maybe just I keep comparing it to Honda Civic, but I don't know another better one to compare it to. This has the optional eco mode, so right now the engine turns off when it is sitting. So as long as I've got my foot on the brake, it will kill the engine. The battery is I guess a special model that is made to handle the stop and go of traffic-like situations, so it won't deplete the life of the battery in any way. One thing I will tell you, since I am big, and the placement of Japanese street signs are so poorly designed that I have to kind of bend over to see anything, but that's more my fault. That's not their fault. I'm just very big, and this car does not have a long enough dashboard, or at least high enough windshield that I can see in it. But that's a personal problem, and I won't put that on Honda. The designers did a good job on this car. Let's actually turn left on here, and I'll show you. One thing that if you are a foreigner that is thinking of buying this car, and you can't speak Japanese, I don't know why, I don't know how you'd be able to buy a car here without the ability to speak Japanese, but the one thing with the navigations here, if you're going to be looking to getting some of these bigger navigation units, there is no English. This is one thing for my wife who's currently studying Japanese. She can't, other than it says audio menu, but something like this that's written in the Chinese characters, you won't be able to figure it out. So that's one thing to know. It'd be a very great chance to study Japanese, and you'll be able to pick up your skills a lot. It's very intuitive. They've got pictures that show along with what you're looking at, so it shouldn't be that crazy difficult. One thing that is something I wish I could show, but I know that it'll get me in trouble, is the Bluetooth, how the speakers actually work in connection with my iPhone. I don't have any royalty-free music or anything that doesn't have some sort of license, so I know that as soon as I play a song to show off the speakers, first off, I'm recording this on a contour camera, so it's not going to have anything close to stereo quality. But as soon as I play a song, they're probably going to catch that and then cancel the movie anyway, so I'm not even going to play with it. But just know, the speakers themselves are good. They are not competition. They're good speakers for what they are. For listening to music, just something normal like what I like to do, I'm listening to generally for easygoing music, nothing too heavy. I don't need a lot of bass. This does exactly what I'm very happy with it. There's speakers that are all over in the front. I believe there's some mids on the bottom, and then there's some tweeters or maybe some mids or something in the back. I haven't actually really looked at it, but they sound great. It's a very good system that they put it. They call it the sound mapping system, which clearly is just marketing jargon, but it's a great little system that they have. I can't complain about that. So I might be able to put a little bit of speed on here. So let's kind of show you. If I put it all the way to the bottom, I can catch up pretty quick. You can hear that turbo kind of spool up just a little bit. It has just kind of like a little bit of squeal. It sounds more like interference from the radio, but there is a turbo in this car, I promise you. The gas mileage or so, I think it's pretty good. I've been in a week of driving it. I have been kind of driving it hard just because I'm kind of playing around with it. So I'm really only seeing, I'd say 14 kilometers. So that maybe, I just don't know the math off the top of my head. It's somewhere in that 30s, maybe upper 20s, lower 30s of miles per gallon. When you're actually driving this in conservative, and I can use this from an example. Last week we got to rent a car that's of the same model, just the non-turbo, or it was the turboed one, but it was the N-Wagon. We rented it last week. We took it to the ocean and back, and we were getting I believe we were getting 31 or 32 kilometers per liter. So that ends up being over 50 miles, maybe 51 or 52 miles per gallon. And again, if I'm wrong on the math, you can drill me in the comment section. The other features that we get in this car, what I'll do is I'll add those in the description below, and so you can kind of see what we got. To be honest, we started off by adding everything onto it, and then we asked them to cut off. The things we didn't put on was the custom exhaust. It was basically a muffler. It wasn't a catback or anything. It was just a muffler, and there's no use making this thing sound like a car can. And then the other one was the suspension. Pretty much everything other than that we added to it. We took off that grill, but like I said before, the white on the grill didn't match the body white. I'll show you as we back up. It's got a backup camera. It's got various options. So it's got a wide angle option. It's got just a general view, and then it also has the straight up and down. This actually works really well when you're pulling backwards, because Japanese, they typically back into parking spots. But I'll just kind of do this. I can actually do the whole parking process typically without even having to look back, which is very nice. I've never had a car with a backup camera, so this is kind of a treat to me. So you'll see that. Well, I probably won't even show you, but my parking spot, I live in a block of 4 houses, and we all kind of share the same kind of real estate as far as how to, to get in the spot where you can angle your car to park into your stall. Mine is from my house to this kind of line of bricks right there, but you're not working with a lot of space to back up. I don't know if you can kind of see it from here. I'll kind of turn the car. You'll see that this neighbor has a minivan, or a larger van, kind of like a Toyota Sienna. However, they just can back straight back in, and so they can basically get the biggest. They could buy a tank if they want it, because it's only going in a straight line. However, if I was to get something larger, like an Audi, something even just the size of, let's say, like an A3 or an A4, it would be very, very hard to get an A4. Put up the hood and see what we're dealing with. There you go. And this is kind of what we're dealing with the motor. You can see that it is just a tiny little motor. Since the car is new, it currently has that wonderful new car metallic kind of lubey smell in it. But the engine itself is very small. I don't plan on doing any kind of engine modifications. I'm not a car racer. I'm not much of a car enthusiast. As long as the car works is really all I care about. I'm basically only a weekend driver, because I get home from work past the point of where most stores like Costco or something like that, they would be just about closing by the time I get home at night. So it wouldn't be worth for me to even spend much more money than just putting in gas and just doing the regular checkups on it. But that's what we're dealing with. It's a fun car. I can't say anything bad about it. So far, my very first impressions is that it's very fun. It's a fun car to drive. Part of it is I'm a foreigner living in Chiba, Japan, and I already stand out. So when you add a car like this to it, it makes us stand out even more. My wife is also a Caucasian American with red hair, and we have a daughter that is blonde, and it makes it so we definitely, in just the couple days that we've been able to drive this one, we definitely get some stares. And it's funny because we already, we don't blend in here, but it makes it so it's just fun for us. We got a car that they're happy with, great gas mileage so far for the time that we've driven it, and it's all pretty fun. So I would say, in all, if anyone was looking to buy a car like this, go for it. It's a great car. These Honda K cars are a great little ones. We are looking at a Suzuki as well. I really can't tell the difference between the two of them. They are all just about the same. Daihatsu, I believe, has some. Suzuki, Honda, Subaru even has a K car as well, and they all seem to just kind of follow the same things. For speed-wise, I just don't think you're going to see much of a difference between them, because they're all going to be standard at that 660 cc's. So maybe it just deciding on how they maybe configure the turbo or something, they might have some speed differences. But for what we saw, and the reason why we went with the Honda is, especially since my first car was a Honda Civic. I've always kind of enjoyed Hondas. There are obviously better brands out there, but for the K cars, this is what we were happy with. Especially, we got a car that we were able to customize and make our own, and it's something that we can say is ours. And so it's been a very happy, good decision for us in the time we've had it. Timeline or money-wise, I believe the car itself, with the turbo, starts off, I believe, at 1.8 million yen, so kind of the equivalent of, at the current exchange rate, about $16,000 or so. With all the options that we've added on, it turned out to be exactly 2.7 million yen, so I'd say roughly about $23,000 or $24,000. Maybe about, give or take, $1,000 US or so. And so price-wise, yeah, at 2.7 million yen, we could have bought a used Audi, a used, pretty much a nicer model of car. However, this is new. It was a new model. I get to say I'm probably one of the first people. The dealership, I don't know if it was just to get me excited about buying a car, but they had told me that I was the first person, especially the first Gaijin, the first foreign person to actually purchase this car in the city of Chiba, and then for certainly in the actual district that I live in, or the ward that I live in, I am definitely the first owner of one that's a foreigner. I see these cars at the dealerships now in Tokyo, and they always get great reactions, and so I'd love to be able to do another video of me kind of driving around and just see if there's any reactions or anything like that. So anyways, thank you for checking out this video. I probably will make some videos in the future. The rain is just about to start. The timing I did on this was perfect. So hopefully you enjoy it. If you've got any questions, or if you want to see anything in specific, or you have some any kind of questions regarding anything specific or anything I left out, let me know in the comment section below, and I can address these for you. I guess in closing, I'm not a vlogger. I'm not a J-vlogger. I don't talk about my experiences here. I am simply just trying to tell you that this is a car that I own. So if there's anything I said that's weird, then kind of give me a break on that one. But maybe in the future I will talk a little bit more about this car, because it's different. It's something that we don't get back in the United States. So enjoy and have a great day.